Okay, we're live. All right, y'all ready? Sir. I call the Kitty Hawk Town Council to order this August 1st, 2016, Kitty Hawk Town Hall at 6 p.m. Before I ask for a moment of silence, I see a number of people. We're always glad to have you out here, whether you're in the hall or actually watching us on TV later. How many of you are here because of the possibility of a medical facility going into the old Buccaneer? Anybody here to speak to that? All right, I need to let you know that you can address that at the opening section, public comment. We will not be having a hearing per se tonight. We'll be calling for it. So if you have comments that you want us to hear and you can't be here for the hearing itself, let us know. Otherwise, the hearing is an appropriate place to do that. All right? Okay. All right. If you'll join us for a moment of silence in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call for a motion to approve the agenda. Are there any changes? If not, so moved, Mr. Mayor. All right, do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, opposed? None. All right, we have some longevity recognitions. First is Sharon Davenport. Joel, are you going to do that?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
When I took over as, when I started in the police department, Sharon was obviously there and has been quite a remarkable lady to work with, especially when I took over as chief of police. She definitely knows the ins and outs of the department. She knows more people in the community than I do of growing up here. Sharon was a native of this area in there in Currituck County. Went to grammar school and high school here. She has a daughter, Haley, who she spends a lot of time with, and Sharon does reside in Kitty Hawk. It's just totally the rock is what I call her at the police department. If you need anything, you go to her. I'll tell the rookie patrolman, go ask Sharon about paperwork and anything of that. So she is just wonderful to work with, and hopefully she'll stay until I retire. We'll go at the same time, so I'll be lost without her. And a lot of us will be. But thank you, Sharon. I appreciate it.
I just want to thank the town for giving me the opportunity to work for the town of Kitty Hawk for the past 20 years. I've enjoyed it, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate council and everything that you do for the employees. Thank you.
Thank
you.
All right, and next we have Chief of Police.
Thank you. This evening, recognizing our Chief of Police. He's been with the town for 15 years. He graduated from Manio High School, so he's a local in his own right. I don't know if he was born here. I haven't been around long enough to determine that yet. But Joel came to us from the town of Kill Devil Hills, and he came to us as a patrol officer 2 in the police department. Worked his way up to patrol sergeant in 2009, and then became the chief of police in 2013. Since the short time I've been here, I've just witnessed Joel is a true worker. He's a hard worker, both personally and professionally, and I think that's about all you can ask is to have a great town employee. He's a good leader for the police department. He speaks up when he needs to speak up about certain issues, and he takes up for his department. Joel is like I said before, Joel's just a stand-up guy, and hopefully he'll be with us for a long time. It's been 15 short years for him, but hopefully he'll stay for another 15. So, Joel, thanks for the work that you do, and we appreciate it. So, Mr. Platt.
Thank y'all for this and everything y'all do. And in my 3.5, almost 4 years as chief and talking to other chiefs and everything in other towns and how they functions and council and politics and everything, I do have to say that I work for the best town that I know of, and I appreciate everything y'all do. I really do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I would add, for the benefit of the audience and those, we get a lot of longevity awards of 15, 20 years and the like. That's a testament to people that love this town, believe in this town, and fortunately stay with this town. And you can't, I mean, what can you say about that kind of dedication? We appreciate it. Thank you, both of you.
Thank you.
All right, public comment. Is anybody signed up?
No.
No? Do any of you want to speak at this public comment? We go one at the beginning and another one at the end. If you want to speak, you certainly have the right to do so, and we want to hear you. No? All right. We will have another chance if that's what you're here for. All right. Let the record show no one came forward. Call for a motion to approve the consent agenda if there are no changes. Do you hear a motion?
Motion to approve, Mr. Mayor.
I second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. We had nothing removed. Planning. All right. What we have are two things. We're calling for a public hearing text amendment. It has to do with what we've talked about, therapeutic residential treatment facilities. Do I hear a motion to call for public hearing?
Mr. Mayor, I move to set a public hearing at the town council meeting on September the 6th, 2016, to consider the proposed text amendment of section 42-1 definition and 42-253C6 conditional uses BH1.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. And then we also have a call for public hearing. It's basically on the same subject, but it requires two different components, the way our system works. Do I hear a call for public hearing on the applicant proposes to establish therapeutic residential treatment?
Mayor, I move to set a public hearing at the town council meeting on September 6, 2016, to consider a conditional use permit application to allow a therapeutic residential treatment facility to be located at 3512 North Virginia Dare Trail.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, folks, the more people we know that are interested in a subject like this, we want to hear from you, all right? So please come back. We have your interest at heart.
Next month.
Next month. All right. Okay, now we're ready for a site plan review. Beechwood is really going gangbusters over there, and that's the old Barrier Island place. Do I hear a motion? Wait a minute, let's see what we got. All right. We're talking about the site plan approval. Rob, go ahead. I don't need a motion yet.
This site plan review is for Phase 2B. It was previously approved in the master plan for 28 units and 70 bedrooms. Phase B is still proposed to contain 28 units, or 2B is still proposed to contain 28 units. The current proposal calls for 72 bedrooms. Just like when we talked about 2A last month, they've been reconfiguring some of the units and bedrooms, but overall, the amount of units and bedrooms and the densities of the whole development is going to remain unchanged, just kind of switching around in different locations. This proposal calls for 7 new buildings, each one containing 4 units. It's going to be a mixture of 4 and 2 bedroom units. There's also going to be a new access drive to be cut off of Cypress Knee Trail, which will contain the parking for the new phase. You can see that on the site plan that was distributed and is put up on the projector. All of the zoning requirements according to the PD ordinance, this application meets all of those requirements. The land use plan designates this area as a higher density residential area on the future land use map. This additional multifamily unit in the development would be consistent with this designation. Planning Board, at its July 14th meeting, unanimously recommended approval of the proposed site plan. And just as some recommended conditions for approval, would be the required revised stormwater permit would be provided to the town, revised erosion sediment control plan to be submitted and approved by the town, and health department approval for the increased usage on the wastewater system would be provided to the town prior to the issuance of any building permits. With that, I'll turn it over to town council. The engineer and architect are on hand if there's any questions for them also.
Does anyone have a question of Rob or the engineer on the site plan? No? You're all satisfied with what you've got before you? I'm fine. All right, pretty cut and dried here. All right, before I ask for a motion, I do want to say one thing. Most of the time, council members want to go visually see the site. And kind of behind the curve on that, but that is a gated community. So I would like for you to arrange, if you will, permission for council members to at least go and look at that site without causing disruption to something, of course.
Okay.
And we can do that at any time, obviously, but I think it's something that we need to establish, and in the future, maybe we could do it beforehand. All right?
No problem.
Okay.
Gary, I went out there, and
Did you?
they let me back in there. I was on my,
Okay.
on my bike, but they let me go through.
You looked harmless.
I was harmless.
All right. Well, I didn't go because I know it's a gated community, and I didn't want to cause a ruckus, but it is something I would like for us to be able to do in a case like this.
Okay.
All right? All right. Do I hear a motion to approve this site approval?
I make a motion.
All right.
I move to grant approval of the site plan for the proposed Phase 2B of the Beach Woods development located at 1 Cypernese Trail, subject to conditions listed on the staff report. Town council finds the plan is consistent with CAMA land use plan.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All right. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Next part is Phase 2, 2C. How many phases are there? I think we're getting there.
There used to be, I think, 9 phases, but then they reconfigured it. I think it's 3 overall phases. I guess 3 will probably be broken up into a few
Okay.
subphases as well.
All right.
All right, so Phase 2C, in the original master plan was approved for 16 units and 40 bedrooms. This proposal stays consistent with that. There'll be a new access drive to be cut off the Cypress Knee Trail. Again, will contain the parking for the additional units. With this one, I will point out, while we're talking about it, that 50-foot buffer does apply to this one. The PUD district requires a 50-foot minimum buffer from any PUD exterior boundary, which abuts residentially zoned land. The adjacent property to the south is the Seascape Section 2, which is zone BR1. The nearest proposed structure to that property line is just over 61 feet from the line, and the hammerhead turnaround for emergency vehicles and trash trucks that you can see here, the southernmost part of it is right at 50 feet from the boundary, so it meets that buffer requirement. Again, all the other zoning requirements are satisfied by the proposal in front of us. Again, like I mentioned, the land use plan designates it as a higher density residential area. Same recommended conditions to go along with this one: a revised stormwater permit, which is in the works by the engineer, revised erosion and sediment control plan, and the health department approval. Again, at the July 14th meeting, the planning board unanimously voted to recommend approval of the site plan.
Again, anyone have questions of Rob or the representatives? Nothing? All right, do I hear a motion to approve this site plan for Phase 2C?
I move to grant approval of this site plan for the proposed Phase 2C of the Beechwoods development located at 1 Cypress Knee Trail, subject to the conditions listed in the staff report. Town Council finds that the plan is consistent with the Campbell Land Use Plan.
All right, any further discussion?
I'll second that.
All right, thank you. All right, we have a second. No further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, gentlemen. Build it and they will come, I guess, huh? You better hope so. You put a lot of money in it, that's for sure. All right, we're already in new business, folks. And we have the appointment of a new town attorney. Were you going to do anything to that, or just announce the fact that we have one?
Just announce, I think that was all.
All right. Casey, you did it once before, but we have people here tonight. Tell us who you
Sure.
are and why you're here.
Absolutely. So my name is Casey Varnell. I practice with the law firm of what was Sharp, Michael, Graham and Baker, and as you'll see, and as most of you obviously know, Steve Michael was the town attorney prior to me. Our firm is now Sharp, Graham and Baker. Steve's still doing some mediation and arbitration type items, so for that reason, since he's still actively practicing, he can't reside on our sign. But nonetheless, firm names changed, representation by the same firm, however. So in other words, the firm for the town remains the same. Steve groomed me for the last 2 or so years for this position, and I'm absolutely thrilled to have the opportunity, and I certainly look forward to work with you guys. So absolutely, thanks a lot.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard, and I have signed the documents, the paperwork.
It got to
should
you
be
then,
taken
is
care
what
of.
I'm hearing.
Yeah, it took a while, that's true. All right, we're ready for the town manager to give us any reports.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple items to follow up from the last meeting. The Public Works has mowed the right-of-way on 158 that Mayor Pro Tem Garris had brought up at the meeting. A lot of times DOT is busy and can't schedule it, and, you know, we're more of the aesthetic look, more or less coming into town. They're more to, when it needs to be cut, we'll come out and cut it. So we went ahead and did that. We appreciate Public Works for doing that. Also, the striping on Virginia Dare Trail, Councilmember McLean is, we've refreshed that. The DOT does plan on doing a resurfacing project, so they didn't want to come out and they put the thermotape down now, which is a lot more expensive, so they didn't want to put that down and have to mill it back up. So they gave us permission to paint the stripes along Virginia Dare Trail during the busy season here, so we've completed that. And then also, we're going to probably wait till the end of the season to maybe just go over kind of the things that Ocean Rescue does for the town and kind of give a report on the year of how many lives they saved and whatever else issues that they ran into, and kind of recognize them here in the next couple of months. We'll have them come to the meeting all at once, because after Councilmember Pruitt brought it up in the meeting, I found out that there's more than just that kind of occurs on a weekly basis there. So as far as Ocean Rescue saving lives, so we'll bring them before the council at the appropriate time. Also, I copied you some thank you letters from, in regards to the police department. You can read through those. You know, we've received 3 or 4 over the past 2 months, some from people from out of town. So I think we're doing a good job in that department and town-wide. Also, the town, just to kind of give you an update, we're currently working on the audit for last fiscal year, 15-16. We've done some preliminary numbers, and I think you'll find that we came in under budget for last year. So here in the next, probably by September, we'll bring sort of a brief report to the council so you can see the preliminary numbers. And then, of course, those will be audited, and then you'll be presented the audit for fiscal year 15-16. So other than that, welcome. Thank you. Casey, and glad to have you on board. Thank you.
Okay, on the lifeguard service thing, during the next budget year, we've had a request to put a lifeguard stand at Lillian Street, since we have a rather large parking lot there. And we have more beach there than we have anywhere else too. But you'll bring that consideration for council consideration next budget?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Comments from the town attorney? Looks like you've got some dictionary.
I was going to say, speaking of lack of beach, so we've had a lot of positive progression here in the past few weeks. All of the required notices for I suppose, condemnation, if you will. All of the required notices have been sent out, and we are primed in the event that we have to move forward with that. But in sending those notices, what we were able to do, I believe the number was roughly somewhere around 200 oceanfront homeowners or landowners. We're now down to 7. So only 7 who have not returned their easements. So that's very good, and we're happy about that. And we were at a larger number, but again, over the last few weeks, it's dwindled. I also spoke with an attorney today who indicated that one of those 7 very well may be signing within the week. So hopefully we'll be down to 6 by the end of this week. In any event, if we don't receive all of the easements back, I believe early August, we're set to file the condemnation actions, and of course, we'll pursue whatever avenues we have to make sure our project goes off as it should and without a hitch. So. And I believe the appraisers are set to come on site. We're organizing that. They're set to come on site within the next few weeks as well, so.
Now, there were 6 of those lots that were not buildable and nothing on them.
Correct.
Are those the 6 that are still outstanding?
There, a portion of them are, so that's now another item that I need to look back at and, see where we're at come time for filing, and that, as you said, that very well may change items.
And just for elimination of those folks that are listening, he used the word condemnation, and we have to use that because it's a technical term. But in point of fact, all we're doing is trying to gain an easement to put sand on the beach. We're not trying to take anybody's property, but we have to go through this process in order to get that kind of access for equipment and pumping and whatever is necessary to put sand on this beach. So it's not the kind of condemnation where we're trying to take something and keep it. That's not the us.
Eminent domain.
We don't want that.
And it's also temporary in nature
Yeah,
as
that's
well.
right.
There's nothing permanent about the action that we'd be pursuing. Essentially, we're just looking to get access to enough of the dry sand beach as is needed to facilitate the beach nourishment project.
Okay. I try to make sure the public's very sensitive to that word, condemnation.
Absolutely.
We are as well. And Kitty Hawk's been through that drill. We don't want to go there again. All right. Reports, general comments from the town council. Mr. Pruitt.
Yeah, well, I'd just like to thank all of our departments. I know this is one of our busiest months of the season, and they're working at their max level, and I think they're doing a fantastic job. And I'd like to thank Joel for his 15 years of service to his community, and thank you very much, and Sharon for 20 years of service. And like the mayor said, it's nice to have employees that stay with our town and get to know our community, and it's been nice having these people aboard. Thank you.
Just thank you to Willie for getting the crosswalks painted. Thank you to Joel and all his guys and gals who keep us all safe, and to the rest of the staff here in the office, to Rob and to Lynn and to Sandy and to Donna and everybody. I hope I haven't forgotten anyone, Liana and Melody, who I don't see tonight, but Chief Spivey, y'all do a fantastic job, and it really makes me proud to be part of Kitty Hawk. Thank you.
Same thing for me. I mean, there's not a day that I see the guys out there working hard, and congratulations, Joel, and Sharon, too. I call up to the station quite often and ask a question or whatever, and she's usually the person that, you go to. I mean, so you're exactly right there. And I appreciate what everybody else within the town and I've done for all the residents and for me, so thank you.
Thanks again to staff. Willie, thank you for you and your staff getting that grass cut. You did a great job, man. Thank you. Very quick, too. Casey, you've got some big shoes to fill, but I think you're going to fit in very well, my friend.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Glad you're here.
Now, Willie, the Philadelphia Hills line is where you stop mowing, okay? We make sure you understood that. I do want to tell you folks that we're getting feedback that the police officers directing traffic, keeping the intersection open at 15812 during the peak, weekend times is helping. We get a lot of comment back. I hope it helps whoever is using the system. It's taking a lot of effort on the police departments. not just ours, but the others that are volunteering to help with that service. We're working hard to try to make sure we can continue that, well, I guess until the Mid-Currituck Bridge is built or forever, whichever comes first. So I just wanted to tell you that that is apparently having a positive effect, but it's taking a lot of effort, and we're working to try to keep it there. Thank you, folks, for doing that. Other than that, I don't have anything else. We're now at a last part, public comment. Does anyone wish to speak? Let the record show no one came forward. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Mayor.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Well, slide over to second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Thank you, folks, for coming.